Imagine waiting years for your green card, stuck in endless queues, unsure if you'll ever get the chance to live and work freely in the US. But what if I told you that starting October 2025, a new immigration law is set to completely change the game? Whether you're in the middle of your green card journey or just thinking about applying, this law could slash your wait times, let you work legally while you wait, and even make international travel easier than ever before. Stick around, because in this video, I'm breaking down exactly what this groundbreaking law means for you and your future in America. You don't want to miss this. First off, I want to acknowledge how confusing and stressful immigration processes can be. It feels like every few months, there's a new update or rule change, and keeping up is tough. But this new law is quite a big deal because it changes some of the core aspects of how green cards are issued, how long you might wait, and what your rights are during the process. So, let's dive right in. The new immigration law was passed by Congress and signed into law recently, with an effective date of October 1, 2025. The government put this law in place to address a few major issues that have been persistent in the immigration system for years. One of the biggest complaints from applicants has been the extremely long wait times, backlogs, and uncertainty in the process, which often leads to families being separated and skilled workers waiting years to contribute fully to the US economy. So, what exactly does this new law mean for you if you're applying for a green card or already on the journey? Well, there are several key changes and provisions that I want to walk through carefully because each one affects your status, timeline, and even your day-to-day life. The first major change is the introduction of a streamlined green card application process for certain categories of applicants. Previously, many green card applicants, especially those applying through employment or family sponsorship, had to go through multiple steps starting with petitions, then waiting for visa numbers, sometimes being stuck in long queues, and often dealing with complex paperwork and interviews. This new law simplifies the process for a wide group of applicants by allowing eligible individuals to submit their application in a single step once they meet certain criteria. What does that mean practically? For example, if you're someone who's already in the US on a valid visa like an H-1B or a student visa transitioning to a work visa, and you're applying for permanent residency through your employer, you can now file your petition and green card application at the same time. This is huge because it reduces the overall processing time and also means you won't have to wait for visa availability to file your green card application. Now, you might be thinking, that sounds great, but does it apply to me? The streamlined process mainly targets categories like skilled workers, professionals, and certain family-based applicants. So, if you're in one of these groups, you'll likely see your green card process get faster. But if you're in a category that's not covered, don't worry, there are other provisions in this law that could help you too. Another very important feature of the new law is the expansion of work authorization for green card applicants. Many of you have probably experienced or heard about the frustration of waiting for months, sometimes years, without being able to work legally while your green card application is pending. The new law changes that by granting automatic work authorization to almost all green card applicants who have filed their applications. This means if you filed your green card petition and your application is pending, you can legally work in the US without having to apply separately for a work permit. This not only saves time and money but also gives you more flexibility to keep your job, change employers if needed, and plan your career without fear of falling out of status. There's also a new provision that allows green card applicants to travel internationally more easily. Before, many applicants had to apply for advance parole or risk abandoning their green card application if they left the country without permission. Under the new law, most green card applicants who have a pending application can travel abroad and re-enter the US without losing their place in the queue, as long as they meet some basic requirements. This is a game changer for those who need to visit family, attend important events, or handle emergencies outside the US. One of the biggest criticisms of the immigration system has been the severe backlog, especially for applicants from countries like India, Mexico, China, and the Philippines. This backlog often meant waiting 10 or even 20 years for a green card. The new law attempts to address this by increasing the number of green cards issued annually and eliminating per-country caps for employment-based green cards. What does this mean? Essentially, applicants from countries with high demand will no longer have to compete within country-specific limits, which should help reduce wait times significantly. This will open the door for many skilled workers and their families who have been stuck in limbo for years. However, family-based green cards still maintain some country-specific limits, so those waiting in that category may not see as dramatic a change, but there are other improvements that might help speed things up. Speaking of family-based immigration, the new law also expands eligibility to certain family members who previously had limited options. For example, it now allows green card holders to sponsor some extended family members under new categories. This means more families can stay together legally and not have to face the heartbreak of separation due to visa restrictions. Now, I want to pause for a moment because while this law brings many positives, there are also some new responsibilities and requirements applicants need to be aware of. One of the things you have to do under the new law is to keep your application updated with any changes to your personal information like address, employment status, or family circumstances within a strict timeline. Failure to do so could result in delays or even denials. Additionally, the government has implemented stronger background checks and security screenings. This means the processing time could still be delayed if any issues arise, but it also means that the process is becoming more thorough and secure. Another important change is in the way fees are handled. The law adjusts fees for certain immigration services, but also provides fee waivers or reductions for applicants from low-income backgrounds. So, if finances were a barrier to applying, this new law might make it easier for you to afford the process. Okay, so what if you are currently waiting in the queue or already have a green card application pending? What should you do to prepare for these changes? First, make sure your application and all your paperwork are up to date. The new law's provisions mostly apply to applications filed on or after October 1, 2025, but there are some retroactive parts that may affect ongoing cases. It's a good idea to consult with an immigration lawyer or accredited representative to see how your specific case will be impacted. Second, keep an eye on any notices from USCIS or the Department of State. The government will be updating forms and procedures to reflect the new law, so make sure you submit any required documents promptly. Third, if you're eligible for the streamlined application process or automatic work authorization, make sure to use those benefits. They can save you a lot of time and stress. For those still considering applying for a green card, now might be the perfect time to start gathering your documents and getting everything ready. This new law aims to make the process more accessible, so being prepared can help you take advantage of these new opportunities. Something else worth mentioning is how this new immigration law fits into the broader political landscape. Immigration reform has been debated for years, and this law is a compromise between different political parties aiming to modernize the system while ensuring national security and economic growth. While it won't solve every problem overnight, it's a step forward that many immigration advocates and experts are hopeful about. It's also interesting to note that the law includes provisions to support immigrant entrepreneurs and investors. This is designed to attract more foreign investment into the USCIS and create jobs, which could benefit many applicants who want to start or expand businesses here. So, to summarize the key takeaways for your green card journey starting in October 2025. You can potentially file your petition and green card application simultaneously if you're eligible, speeding up the process. You will likely have automatic work authorization while your application is pending. Traveling internationally will be easier without risking your green card application. Backlogs for employment-based green cards should improve due to the removal of country caps. More family members can be sponsored for green cards under expanded categories. You must keep your application information current and be ready for enhanced background checks. Fee adjustments and potential waivers might make the process more affordable. Now, I want to hear from you. Are you currently waiting for your green card? Are you thinking about applying soon? What part of the new law do you think will help you the most or worry you the most? Drop a comment below. I read all of them and love to help where I can. Also, if you want me to make a deep dive video on specific parts of this law, like how to apply for the new streamlined process or tips for keeping your application updated, let me know. Before we finish, just a quick reminder that immigration law is complex, and while this video covers the new law in detail, your individual situation might require personalized advice. If you can, consult with a licensed immigration attorney or accredited legal advisor to make sure you're on the right path.